Yiping, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, Valerie.
How about you start by telling us a little bit about your organization for the audience today?
Chat is started in 2009, and currently our vision is to lead the transformation of mental health care and support for young people in Singapore. And one of our hallmark service would be a national assessment and outreach service for youth and young adults aged 16 to 30 years old living in Singapore. Providing that safe space for them to talk about what's concerning them when it comes to mental health, and to really right-side them so that they get timely and appropriate mental health support in their journey towards better health.
I have to ask because it's a hot topic, mental health, especially since COVID. Has COVID changed the way you work in any way, or has it increased the number of beneficiaries that you have?
Definitely. With COVID, the challenges it brought us is in terms of how we can still provide that timely and appropriate care to our young people when physical meetups were not possible because of many safety measures being put in place. One of the blessings in disguise that COVID has brought is that it has brought to the attention of many this very important topic of mental health. There's been a lot more attention now and a lot of resources being pumped into the area of mental health in general, and also specifically to youth mental health.
So you have a background, I'm hearing, in training and psychology. And was it the first time you called upon external facilitators, or had you done it before?
This would be the first time we've embarked the help of an external facilitator.
What made you think it was the right tool?
Personally, I feel I'm not able to do this because I have tried to facilitate before. It's just that I feel quite a lot of interference and a lot of holding back. And I was very mindful with the position that I have in this team, that when I speak, I notice people tend to just agree and not voice out. And which is why I feel the presence of an external facilitator would be really important. And that might make the key difference in allowing me to share my perspective, and at the same time allow other people to feel empowered to share without the fear of being judged by me or other leaders.
That's a lot of self-awareness on your part. That's lovely.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, why did you bring in facilitation in the first place? What was the specific challenge that you were looking to resolve?
Back in 2009, when we started Chat, the team was fairly small and our audience were primarily young people. It made conversations and planning fairly easy, though the challenges were really about how to destigmatize mental health for young people. Over the years, I think our hard work has paid off and we've grew in the size of our team, and the number of partners and stakeholders that we are working with has grown as well. And so around 2019, when we arrived at our 10th year anniversary, we decided that we might need to have a new vision because of several changes seen in the youth mental health landscape. And with that new vision in mind, we were also very mindful with what's the perspective that various stakeholders have seen. And we wanted to capture their perspectives, the areas of concern, and to use that to guide our vision. And so we embark on facilitation process to kickstart a series of strategic planning.
A number of organizations would be hesitant between, shall I do it myself? Should we do it internally, or should we bring in external facilitators? Why did you choose to go for the latter?
We didn't want our leaders to kind of weigh in and stifle the voice of other members in the team. Like, we wanted an external facilitator to come in and offer that neutral presence, and also to create that safe space where every voice gets to be heard and decisions gets made on a team level rather than according to ranks or seniority, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Did it happen?
Yes, indeed. Not just that, but I was also impressed with how we were also able to capture the voice of many other stakeholders, like young people who couldn't join us for the retreat, or even certain representatives from important ministries. Through the facilitation that we underwent, I'm really thankful that the voices of these important representatives were captured and were utilized in that actual day where the whole chat team came together on things that matters not just to us but to our stakeholders and young people as well.
Yiping, you've received really amazing feedback from young people. Would you care to share an example with the audience?
Yeah, sure. One of the feedback that I remember was young people sharing with us how they appreciate the safe space that we've created for them, allowing them to share their side of the story about how life has challenged their mental health. I think a lot of young people are at a developmental phase where they want to make sense of what's going on. They want to look competent to others. And so there is that fear of being judged in a negative way, whether it's by their parents, friends, or perhaps other significant others in their lives. And because of this, they struggle with finding people they can trust to share or what's challenging for them. Um, and I think the work that we do allows them to feel safe to share without being judged. And at the end of the session, they didn't feel compelled to take up any resources or advice that we've given them. Instead, they were given time to maybe just step out of the session, go home, think about it. And when the time is right for them, they can contact us again to kickstart the next process, which might be to get professional help or maybe to get some other resources. And just recently, we even have young people who had their conversation with us 2 years back, and they came back recently just to thank us again and letting us know how the advice given back then is still relevant to where they are today.
That's what you get afterwards, though. That's what you get at the end of the effort. During the effort, during the workshops, during the facilitation, when did you know it was working?
I think in terms of our team, we had a lot of new team members, and they're all very young. And to many of them, that's the first time that they've been in a process like this. And so many of them feedback that they're very surprised, they're very heartened, that even though they're very new, some as new as 1 day old, they really like how their opinions were respected and valued. And hearing how they still join us and they don't yet have that professional identity. So a lot of their voice, I think, still represent young people in general. That's where I get a sense that, yes, this is the right way, this is the right approach. And I'm just thankful for that.
That's wonderful. I love the idea that they felt hurt from the first day they got into the organization. How about your more senior partners and leaders? How did you manage to get them aligned, which is not easy?
I think I'm very blessed that my seniors and my leaders, we were already aligned in terms of our values. And during the facilitation process, it wasn't just my intention, but many of my seniors and leaders, they also made sure that we have a comprehensive kind of a perspective, and we really encourage the young ones to voice their perspectives instead of, kind of dismissing their viewpoints.
That makes me think of the way you come across. And I'm thinking there seems to be a natural facilitative leadership style to you. How does that impact the way you lead?
Thanks for noticing that, Valerie. um, yeah, so in chat, my role is not just about leading the team. I am also a clinical worker doing the mental health assessment myself. I am a trainer, and I train young people and social service agencies, professionals to do mental health work and support. I think I really like the adult learning principles, and a little bit of my own therapy background as well. There's this belief that people are competent, people want to be their best version, people want to contribute to their community, and people are capable of making wise decisions. And the idea of a growth mindset, that if we want to work on this complex issue, is not about my idea or your idea, but it's about really listening to what each of us see from our own angles, and then trying to piece together a bigger image that makes sense for everyone. So I think because of the multiple hats that I wear and kind of alignment of values with every hat that I have to wear, it kind of then naturally, I think, brings out this leadership that you talk about, right? This leadership style that's kind of naturally facilitating in its way.
And we do need a lot more collaborative leadership these days, as things are being interrelated, convergence of technology, convergence of workers. It's very needed, that collaborative style. Is there anything else you would like to know about the project or the way things went that's important to you?
From this project, I learned that there's a lot of hard work put behind the planning, a lot of intentional, there's a lot of intent behind it. And even before the actual facilitation happened, I think there were a lot of discussions happening already. And the work doesn't end when the facilitation ends. In fact, a lot more work happened after the facilitation ended, because then it's about looking at the collective input that's been gathered and really making sense of it and using that to then feedback to the overall team on what are the next steps forward. So it is a very tiring process, but thinking back, I do think it's very worth it, because when you do this well, I think it does set your team in very good path for the next few years ahead. And something else which I want to add on is that level of bonding that we all have at the end of the conversation. I mean, this is not like going on a trip together or playing a game, but it's interesting how just coming together, discussing serious things in a safe space, being respected for what each of us have to say, what emerged is that bond that I'm not the only one who felt it, but even new members felt it, and they expressed being thankful that they are part of the team.
Wonderful. So thank you for that, because it's quite beautiful to hear about.
Thank you for your affirmation, Valerie.
Thanks a lot for being with us today.